All right, welcome to Management Mathematics. All right, this is course is SIN 2007. All right, today we're going to look into the production theory. All right, this is like a very first and foremost chapters in management mathematics. All right, and trust me, it's very interesting, and definitely you get a lot of ideas and knowledge out of it. Okay. All right, so let's see the contents. What's in that first chapters in production theory? Okay. All right, production functions. There is a production function in the short run, and then total average and marginal products. Okay, and then we're going to learn about law of diminishing returns. And we come to the calculus in production theory. This is very important. Okay. And then the production function in the long run. Okay. And production isoquant. Okay. Isoquant is one of the production way. And then MRTS labor and capital. So we're going to learn that as well. And then at last, the Cobb-Douglas production function. Okay, so these things we're going to look into this in the production theory, and every section will bring you a lot of informations. Okay, so I also include some of the relevant information, but it's not covered in your syllabus, but it's just for your information for future reference. Okay, so also remember that you also can use these notes for your future reference. Okay. All right. After you study these chapters, so we can the learning outcome is as follows. Okay. Okay. First, you'll be able to define the meaning of the production theory. Okay. The next, you will understand the law of diminishing returns, and then you can explain the product, marginal product, and the rate. Okay, the marginal rate. Then you'll be able to describe the production theory calculus. And then you also be able to measure the productions or output elasticity of labor. Okay, so output elasticity for the labor. And you also identify that MRTS of the labor and capital. And at the last, you know how to explain that Cobb-Douglas production functions and its application. Okay, so these are main things you have to look into this course, and after once you have finished these topics, and you'll be able to come up with this learning output. Okay, all right, now we can use that splash. Okay. Productions refer to the transformation of the input into output of products. Okay, so as you know, every production, all right, if there is an input, definitely there is an output. Okay, say we use that the raw material, say timber. Okay, for example, timber. All right, so the timber, all right, okay, there is a lot of deforestations nowadays. There is another sad things. All right, the timber use for what? Actually, what the reason they cut the timbers? Okay, so they use the timber to just make a furniture. Okay, to make a furniture, to make that like secondary instruments. Okay, they used for the buildings. All right. And then they build the construction area. So as well, they use the timber to use as what they call some products, like souvenirs, like decorating things, decorating the houses. All right. So timber is initially a raw material. All right. So we call it input, and the products. Okay, the productions are. Okay, like the final product, final stage, we call output. Like The end product we call like, the furnitures, all right, souvenirs and everything we call as output. Okay, that's what we call output of the products. An input is a resource that a firm uses in the production process for the purpose of creating a good or service. All right, as I said just now. So first, they will raw material, they convert into something like to useful some goods or some object. So that we call as a output. Okay, so the production functions indicate that the highest output. Okay, the highest output. So initially we give that the Q as a usually stand for the output. Okay, we indicate for the output. Okay, and we indicate the abbreviation is given as a Q. So easy for us to know that all these symbols, because later it's easy for us to do a calculation. Okay, so remember when they said output, all right, when they say output, all right, so the symbol is Q. All right, that's represent the output. All right, okay. The production function indicate the highest output that a firm can produce for every specified combination of input. Okay, so while holding the technology constants at some predetermined state. So what they're trying to say is, so the production function usually, okay, will be a sort of equations. Okay, a sort of equation with the considering some other aspect as well. All right, based on the relationship between input and output. All right, so with that presence of technology device. Okay, so mathematically we can represent this production function as follow. So this is the production function formula. As you can see here, Q equal to F in bracket L and K. So L and K is represent the elements. So which is the elements of in order to produce the Q. Okay, so L is stand for the labor. Okay, so it's a labor, quantity of labor, and the K is stand for the capital. Okay, you know capital, right? And guys, you know the capital means? All right, so the allocation, yes. Yeah, capitals. So or I mean is in term of money or could be anything like resources. Okay, and then the labor, of course, is a humans and the service, which is service providers. I mean, like who involved in that function. Okay. All right. Okay, the production function. Okay, so this, we just go in deeper. The quantity of input is a function of depends on the labor and the capital. So as you can see here, all right. So guys, remember, sometimes I will repeat a few things because it's not that because I'm writing every time, but it's just to make yourself familiar with those kind of terms. All right. As much you just going through it, all right, in the form of repetition, so you will remember the words. All right. So since this all the entirely new topics to you, so you had to be familiar with those terms. All right. It's a quite repetitive a few places so that you know that concept. So this is a way how I design my lecture notes. There will be some repeated things so that it will be make yourself remember the terms. Okay. Output, as I said earlier, is referred to the number of unit of the commodity produced. Okay, this output, so your end product. Okay, and the labor is of course is the labors. All right, it's a workers. Okay, working on in order to produce that output or the final product. Okay, and the capital is the equipments, or it can be anything like amount. Okay, or resources. Okay, or we also can say the resources. Okay, resources. All right, to use in the production. All right, so this is very, very important. All this, the two major elements is important in order to see the final products of Q. So assume that all that L and K are homogeneous. Okay, homogeneous means it's identical. That means it's equally same. Okay, so in terms of labor, in terms of capital, so make sure it's balanced. All right, if it is imbalance, there will be some lost, all right, and waste or overproductive. All right, that's all that they come. So make sure the first assumption, all that the labors and the capital has to be identical. I mean the same balance. Okay. All right. Technology is assumed to remain constant during that period of the analysis. Okay. We assume that the technology, all right, like others was like emissions. All right. So of course, like when we just carry out some, to make a production. So we use that the technology like in the factories, like we use the plenty of machines, okay, in order to assist the laborers or the workers in order to produce the production. Okay, so we assume that it's constants. All right, the figures will be still remain the constants. Okay, now we move to the production function in the short run. Okay, short run. Okay, what does it mean short run? The short run. Okay, in the short run is the time period. Okay, so please underline the words. All right, so the short run is the time period in which the quantity of some input calls fixed factor. Okay, so they call a fixed factor. That means unchanged. They never change. It cannot be more, it cannot be less. It just remains the same constants, the same value. Okay, so same variables. Okay, so they call as a fixed factor. Okay, fixed factor. Okay, so it cannot be increased or cannot be decreased. All right, still remain the same. Okay, so we call that is the fixed factor. Okay, for the short runs, the fixed factor is usually an element of capital. Okay, so usually is addressed as the capitals. I mean the resources. All right, the what we resources we have. Okay, such as a plant, such as equipment, such as we have a amount. All right, the quantities, everything. So we call as a capitals. So we fix it. We call a fixed factor. Okay. So remember the guy, this is just for a short run. So we fix that the variable, which is fixed factor, is the capitals. Okay. So therefore, in our production function, the capital is taken to be the fixed factor and the labor the variable one. So which means, as you can see the formula, the production function formula over here. All right. So the production function. So usually we know that Q equal to F, and this is a labor and the K, right? K for the capital. For that, when we just fix that the capital, all right, because the capital is a fixed factor, so we just indicate as K bar. All right, the K bar is indicate as a fixed. Okay, it's a fixed factors. Okay, all right, and L is a variable. Okay, L is a labor, is a become a variable. Okay. All right. Now, so I want you guys just learn some abbreviations. This is which is later we're going to use widely in everywhere, especially in the calculation. All right. So like for instance, like total average, marginal product. All right. Total products. Okay. Average products, and so on. So there will be like some short forms. You had to know that. Okay. Let me see that the step by step. What does it mean that total product? Okay, total product is usually stated as TP. All right, you will indicate as a TP is a total amount that is produced during the given period of time. Okay, say for example, all right. Say Ahmad Zulhilmi. Okay, Ahmad Zulhilmi, are you there? So you are given a 50 kilo of sugar. Okay, so Ahmad given a 50 kilo of sugar. Okay, and I given an assignment suggest to what you can be done with the 50 kilo of sugar. All right. So you just come up with the products. Okay. The same time, I give a 50 kilo of sugar as well for Azlinda. All right. So with allocated time, say for both of them, all right, both of them, I give you say like an hour. Just assume that just an hour. I give them 50 kilo of sugar. All right. All right. And then I just let them to think what is the end products they can come up with. All right. So based on that, we can see the total product cost. It will be varies. Okay. So sometimes it varies according to the time. All right. According to that amount also offer. All right. So if you have more time, then you can do more things, more production. Okay, if less time, definitely there will be less production or less end result. Okay, so this is the kind of like examples. All right, so depends, your resources are same, and that say the times varies. Maybe Ahmad, I give you 50 minutes, or as Linda, maybe I just give you 60 minutes, so or maybe 80 minutes. All right, so what that output productions you can come out, how many products. Okay, so this is some like a good example I just like share with you, so you can differentiate that the product. Okay, the total product will change as more air or less of that variable factors is used in conjunction with given amount of fixed factor. Right, fixed factor just now is we get a capital, right? Capital. Okay, capital. All right, so remember. So average, all right, average products is given as a AP. All right, this we call average products. All right, so which means the average product is the total products divided by the number of unit of variable factor. Okay, so what is the our variable factor now? Who knows? Our variable factor. All right. Variable factor is our labor. Okay. Say, for example, I given a task to construct a chicken coop. Do you know a chicken coop?
Yes.
Have you seen the chicken coops before, especially in the villages?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, chicken coops. All right, you just build a chicken coops. All right, based on that available resources. All right. Say I just assign Iman Iza. Okay, Iman Iza. All right. Okay, Iman Iza and Hariharan. All right. So assign both of them to build a chicken coops. All right. And then I am also like planning to do another chicken coops. All right, but this time I choose Nur Amira, Nur Ashikin, and Nur Atira, and Nur Fatini. Okay, 4 of them. Okay, who will be finishing the chicken coop soon? Okay, the chicken coops ideal, same size and same measurements. Who do you think can finish the chicken coop faster?
The second one with 4 people.
Exactly, because this is matter. Okay, this is a matter. Labor is a matter. It means a variable factor is a matter. As a variable factor is more, then the average product will be higher. All right. So and then some more it's faster. Okay. So this is what they're trying to explain in this concept. Okay. And then marginal product. Okay, marginal product will be MP. So it's change in the total product resulting from the use of one additional unit of the variable factor. That means we see the changes between in that product as well in that changes in that the variable factor. Okay, so you see the two changes. So perubahan, okay, perubahan antara marginal product and the variable factors. All right. So far clear, guys? So you just make sure you just underline those words. All right. So this is, it's very useful to you. So when you do the revisions, okay. So basically this stuff, all right.